Tim Cook, the man who runs Apple, the world's first $3 trillion company. You'd think he'd be worth hundreds of billions, right? But surprisingly, Tim Cook isn't even close to the world's richest tech CEOs like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, or Mark Zuckerberg. In this video, we'll dive deep into why Tim Cook isn't on the list of the richest tech billionaires, despite leading the most valuable company in the world. The big misconception. When people think of Apple, they imagine massive profits and sky-high salaries. But here's the twist. Apple's CEO doesn't actually own Apple. Unlike founders such as Bezos with Amazon or Musk with Tesla, Tim Cook, he was brought in later, first as an operations genius and later chosen by Steve Jobs himself as CEO in 2011. Since Cook didn't found Apple, he doesn't own a massive stake in the company. Instead, his wealth comes mainly from his salary, bonuses, and stock grants. There's also Cook's personal approach. He has said multiple times that he plans to give away most of his fortune to charity. Unlike many billionaire founders who focus on empire building, Cook has no children and is more interested in philanthropy and privacy advocacy. In other words, Tim Cook isn't chasing billionaire bragging rights. His focus is on running Apple and leaving a legacy beyond money. So why isn't Tim Cook as rich as Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos? Because wealth in tech isn't really about your salary, it's about how much of the company you own. Musk, Bezos, and Zuckerberg are mega billionaires because they're founders with massive stock stakes. Cook? He's a world-class executive, but with a far smaller slice of the apple pie. How rich is Tim Cook actually? As of 2025, Tim Cook's net worth is estimated to be around $2 billion. That's impressive, but it's tiny compared to Elon Musk's $200+ billion or Mark Zuckerberg's $120+ billion. Why? Because most of Musk's and Zuckerberg's wealth comes from ownership in their companies. Musk owns around 13% of Tesla, and Zuckerberg still controls over 350 million shares of Meta. Cook? He owns less than 0.02% of Apple. Cook's salary versus CEO founders. In 2021, Tim Cook earned about $100 million in compensation, mostly from stock bonuses. That's huge for a salary. But compare that with Jeff Bezos, who simply sat on billions of Amazon shares that skyrocketed in value. Bezos didn't need a paycheck to become wealthy. The stock alone made him one of the richest men in history. In other words, Cook gets paid to run Apple, but he doesn't have the ownership leverage that turns CEOs into mega billionaires. Apple's board keeps control. Apple's board of directors also plays a role. They've carefully designed Cook's pay to be performance-based, tied to Apple's success. This keeps him motivated, but it also ensures no single person, not even the CEO, holds too much power. Remember, Apple is a public company owned by millions of shareholders, pension funds, and institutions. Cook may lead it, but he doesn't own it like Musk owns Tesla or Gates owned Microsoft. Cook's choice: wealth versus legacy. Interestingly, Tim Cook has said he doesn't care about becoming the richest person in the world. He's pledged to give away most of his fortune to charity. Unlike Musk or Bezos, who focus on wealth and control, Cook's legacy is about stability, privacy, and running Apple successfully after Jobs. So why isn't Tim Cook one of the richest tech CEOs? Simple. He's not a founder, he owns very little Apple stock, and his wealth comes mostly from salary, not ownership. But here's the bigger takeaway. Sometimes power isn't about how much money you have. It's about the company you run. And in that sense, Tim Cook is one of the most powerful CEOs alive today. Now let me ask you, do you think Tim Cook deserves more wealth for running Apple? Or is legacy more important than net worth? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this one.